how to find cheap land for sale. Welcome back. Today's episode is all about how to find cheap land for sale. Now, my name is Ted Thomas. I've been a real estate investor for decades. There's cheap land all across the United States. You just need to know how to find it. So I'll give you some ideas on how you can do that in this episode. Now, it's common, and most people understand that oceanfront property is way more valuable than the property that's a mile inland off the ocean. So we understand that that location is important. Well, it's the same way with land. Certain land is worth a lot more than other land. Now, sometimes it's the soil, sometimes it's the location, sometimes it's the roads that are near it, and sometimes it's going to be what the weather is. It's going to be a lot of different things. So we're going to talk about that. So it's not as easy to do land as it is to do residential property when it comes to evaluating. Now, it doesn't mean you can't learn that. The commercial brokers certainly know that. So number one, if you're going to get involved with a land broker that knows what they're doing. So land has a lot of value. And even though it doesn't produce revenue, it has a value. So desert land might be only $300 to $500 an acre, whereas cultivated land that's on the water, that's irrigated and whatever, might be $9,000 or $10,000 an acre. You're getting the idea. The land can be different, and it's going to be different areas. All right, so what's causing the different values? Well, the soil is going to be a big difference. The weather is going to be a big difference. Where the property is located is going to be a big difference. And let's think about this. The land you're buying, will it have water? Will there water be right to the land? Will there be power to the land? Will there be roads near the land? If those things are missing, well, the land has a much different value than if it does. All right, now the United States has a lot of different areas that have desert. You can start with desert in New Mexico or West Texas, or you could even go to the western part, or the eastern part, I should say, of Oregon and find desert. Okay, now a lot of people don't want to live there because it's too hot in the summertime. So the values of the land are low, maybe $300 to $500. All right, you can go to eastern Maine where there's no roads there's no value to the property, even though it's wooded, and you could sell the wood, but how are you going to get the wood to the factory? How are you going to get it to the mill where they're going to cut it up and make lumber out of it? You can't do that. So the values are very low. So it's going to make a difference on that land. So land is not how much it is an acre, it's how much it is an acre on where it's located. So nice sunny land over in the Gulf of Mexico in the eastern part of Texas, $9,000 to $20,000 an acre easily on that irrigated land. All right, so there's a lot of land you can buy for 10 and 20 cents on the dollar. So let me tell you a little bit about how you can do that. That's what I like to do. I like to buy it at low price. Now, I get that because I go to tax defaulted auctions. So later on in this videos, I'm going to tell you about the tax defaulted auctions where people can go and buy properties for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. And how do they do that? These are properties that are confiscated by the local government because people didn't pay their taxes. All right, so there's dozens of websites that have land for sale. Savvy investors, they just slow the whole process down. First of all, I'm going to recommend you get a broker that understands land. Don't try to just do it yourself and pull out your six gun and start shooting. You're going to have to go slow and think about this. There's going to be a lot of difference in locations. There's going to be huge differences whether it's going to be residential land, developable land, irrigated land. You're getting the idea. This is going to make a huge difference. And most people that haven't been involved in land don't understand that. Now, the people live out in the middle of Louisiana, in the middle of Illinois, in the farm states, they understand this, and they understand land, but they grew up in it. So you definitely need a land broker to help you out. All right, so the land broker can tell you what the future land is going to be, and they can tell you the future of what's happening in that area. And many areas are not growing, but they have tremendous use for agriculture. I can't tell you that, but I can tell you this. If you want to find cheap land for sale, it's all across the United States. I happen to go to tax defaulted auctions. That's what I want to buy. I want to buy because I want to get it for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. Why do I do that? Because that's where the money is made. I make my money when I buy, not when I sell. So I make my money when I buy it. I'm going to buy it right. And then when I sell it, I'm going to get to go to the bank. So that's a concept that a lot of people don't. They think they're just going to buy everything they're going to buy is always going to go up. Well, that's not going to happen. All right. Now, I don't know if you're an entrepreneur or what you are, but if you are an entrepreneur, you need to start digging into places like the Small Business Administration and find out what kind of business they can tell you about. They'll tell you a lot about business. In other words, they'll tell you how to run a business, they'll tell you how to buy a business, and they'll also tell you that a lot of businesses go bankrupt. What does that mean? They will tell you that 80% of the businesses that start this year will fail in the next 5 years. So that leaves 20%. 20% is the survivors. Of the 20% survivors, 80% of those will fail in the next 5 years. Now, there's a reason for that. Now, can I give you all the reasons for that here on this video? No, because we're here talking about how to find cheap land. But now, if you're going to get in business, you're getting in business of buying land so you can resell it, or you're going to buy the land because you're going to do something with it. Let's think of that as a business. Now, if it is that, then you need to start understanding business. All right, so who are you watching and what videos are you watching and why are you doing all that? Why are you even watching the video we are here today? Well, think about that. Everybody wants a lot of money. So if you haven't checked with the SBA, you need to make that your next step. You want to do that. Okay, are you going to purchase online? All right, who's going to help you buy that property? Are you going to buy online? Well, you better get boots on the ground, because if that property hasn't been surveyed, which a lot of properties haven't been, who is going to go out and walk the property and survey it? All right, so you need boots on the ground. All right, there's other reasons for boots on the ground. What if it was next to a chicken farm and you didn't want the odors of the chicken farm? And what if it had damage from a big storm and had a big irrigation ditch through the middle? I don't know, but what you want to do is you want to make sure that you go and look at the property. Now, every woman knows she's not going to marry the man unless she's seen him. That should be your rule for buying property. I don't care whether it's cheap land or expensive land or whatever it is, you want to look at it before you buy it. You want to make sure that you know what's going on. All right, so cheap land is everywhere. I don't care whether you want to do it in West Texas, you want to buy in East Oregon, you want to buy in New Mexico, wherever you want to buy, there's plenty of it, but what are you going to do with it and how are you going to sell it? If you don't have a plan with an outcome of where you're trying to go, you don't want to buy it. Now, people buy all the time, and they think, oh, well, 20 years from now, it'll be a big city, and it'll be okay. I think I'd do a lot more checking. Where would you check? Check with the local county. See if it could be zoned residential. Find out if it's zoned and it has easements or restrictions to the property. You need to find out those things before you buy the land. Don't buy cheap land just for the sake of buying land. Plenty of it. It's everywhere, and there's going to be plenty of it for sale. All right, how are you going to find it? Well, it's going to be easy to find. The multiple listing service will have it. You can go on Craigslist. You'll find all kinds of land on there. You can contact a land broker. I definitely talk to a land broker. Why? Because they know land. They have special designations. They're licensed to sell land. You need someone like that to help you when you get involved in land. Now, if you grew up as a farmer, you don't need to listen to this video with me, that's for sure, because you'll know a lot about the land. But the average person that's watching this might not have grown up on a farm, and they don't know about land. So you need to discover things and not get yourself in big trouble. All right, so we're going to talk about some defaulted properties for the next few minutes. All right, now, I specialize in that for the past 30 years. Now, there's over 3,000 counties in the United States. All 3,000 counties will have tax defaulted properties that they will sell at an annual auction. How did they get them? They got those properties because people default on their taxes. When they defaulted on the tax, the county confiscates the property and they sell the property, trying to get enough money to pay that tax. All right, so that means they're going to discount the property. They discount the property 60, 70, 80%. They just try to get enough money to pay the taxes. Now, when the auction takes place, they wipe out any mortgages on the property or any deed of trust. So now you're buying properties for rock bottom dollar. That's why I want to buy them. I want to buy them as low a price as possible because I know I make my money when I buy. I'm going to collect my money when I sell. So I want to buy these properties for 10 cents, 20 cents, 30 cents on the dollar. They don't have any mortgage and they don't have any deed of trust on them. I know I can resell them. Now, if I buy for 10 cents on the dollar, doesn't matter what I sell it for, whatever that number is, I get to keep all of that profit. Well, is that a good deal for me or not? Well, it sure is. So much of my life, I didn't recognize that, but 30 years ago, I discovered tax defaulted property. It's happening in every county in the United States. All 3,000 counties are going to auction these properties. Anybody can buy them. Anybody can go to the auction sale. All of the properties are sold at auction sale. Sometimes they sell them for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar. All right, so you're saying, well, Ted, how am I going to get rid of these auction properties? Well, I'll tell you right now, they're not difficult to get rid of if you price them right. All right, so where are we going to do it? First of all, we're involved in what kind of property? No, they're not brand new. They were just built. They're not just freshly painted. These are used and abused property. Some of these properties are junk, so don't buy the junk. Some of the properties have just to be cleaned up, and people could live in them. So how are you going to sell them? Well, why don't you start with Craigslist? How about the multiple listing service? How about eBay? All right, I'm giving you lots of places you can go. How about signs all over the property? Or could you use Zillow? Could you use Trulia? You're getting the idea. My point is, you're going to have to be aggressive about selling the property. Are you going to sell it for top dollar? No. I try to buy 10, 20 cents on the dollar, and then I'm going to try to sell it for 50 or 70 cents on the dollar because I just want to make a profit. I want to make a nice profit. All right, so why is the county even selling these properties? The county needs money to pay the county services. What do you mean by that? The county has to pay the school teachers, the firefighters. How about the police? All of those people have to be paid. If they're going to get paid, they need tax money to do that. And if someone defaults on the tax, the county takes the property away from them, takes the privilege of ownership away, and they'll sell it to you for pennies. So you're not only helping yourself because you're buying at a bargain, but you're helping the county and your local neighborhood. Now, my name is Ted Thomas, and I finished this video by telling you, if you're interested in this and you'd like to have a list and find out what the properties are for sale in your county or counties around you, just go right below me and you get your first list free. You can just register and get your first list free, and you'll know what counties are available in your county. I'm Ted Thomas.